Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Spider. Welcome back to another review. Last week we reviewed the Super Battle Droids, and now it's time for the Star Wars Saga Legends number 31, Destroyer Droid. This figure released back in 2011, and they're based on their appearance from the Star Wars prequel films. Now, I usually start off my reviews by taking a look at the packaging, but I don't have it anymore, so here's your trash can instead. Okay, enough of that. On to the figure. Alrighty, so here we have the Destroyer Droid, or Droidica, whatever you want to call him. I kind of go back and forth between the two. And this mold is actually kind of old. It's been around for quite some time. It was first used in 2002 during the Attack of the Clones toy line, and has been reused quite a few times since then, including this one. So we'll start things off by taking a look at its articulation. The head, I guess you could call this head, can look down that much and look that far up, and that's pretty much it. That's all you get there. It's just on a simple little clip, and sorry, almost had to sneeze there, but I fought it off. So yeah, the head's on a clip, and it can pop off, but it can easily just clip right back on. The arms do have a joint here, but you can't really use it due to the gimmick of the figure, which we'll get into later. But you can use the elbow here, which can bend pretty dang far. You get a nice bend there, and it can extend about that far. And you do get a waist swivel, which actually kind of surprised me. I was not expecting that joint to be there. Yeah, you can rotate it at the waist, and then you have the legs, which all have the same amount of joints. You basically just got a hinge there and a hinge there, which allows you to not do a whole lot, but I mean, you're not really going to be putting the Destroyer Droid in any dynamic poses. It pretty much just kind of stands there and shoots, and that's kind of all you need it to do, and that's what it does. Alrighty, now on to the details. So we have its eyes. What is the eyes? I'm going to be calling it the eyes. So you get these three bits here, and you got this lower bit, which do be wary. I imagine that can snap off easily. I mean, it didn't on mine, but just be careful. And then you got the head, which has got this orange with more of this maroon color on the sides, with the silver on there. Looks pretty nice. And then you got the body. The main body is cast in this dark gray, almost gunmetal gray. So then you get some nice little mechanical detailing going on there. You got the arms. You got a little shoulder pad with the same orange and maroon color on it. You got a little piston there. And then this little tubes here, which, yeah, I think they are just hard plastic. So those might break off, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, they didn't on mine. I was pretty rough with it, so I don't know, maybe they're sturdier than I would think. And you got the main blaster bit with some nice gold and silver on there. And you got the main little center ball thing. Don't really know how to refer to this, which is orange and maroon, just like the rest of it. And you got the legs, which are mostly in that same dark gray, but towards the tip they have this more brown tannish color. I guess to kind of make it look like they're dirty, like it's been walking around and doing stuff. And you got the back of the figure. You got Hasbro stamp. You get more detail. You got these two little flaps here. You got some screws. And that is pretty much it. So, as far as details go, it's pretty decent. You know, it is, some bits are a bit clunkier, or just bulkier. They're supposed to be like the arms and the main kind of body joint. That is a bit thicker than it's supposed to be, but those are just there to accommodate the gimmicks of the figure. And if any of you are wondering, jeez, can't speak. If any of you are wondering No, the figure cannot roll up into a ball like it does in the films. Wish it could, but it doesn't, which is a shame. But there are some destroyer droids that can roll up, like the Power of the Jedi Mega Action Destroyer and the more recent Black Series Destroyer droid. Those are both bigger figures. I guess it's so they could put the engineering so it can actually roll up or something. I don't know. Yeah. And the figure does have a gimmick. You see this little lever back here. You press that, and it makes the arms move. Makes it look like it's shooting. Pew pew, pew pew, pew pew. Although if you look at it from the side, it just kind of makes it look like it's running, like. So that's kind of funny. So that's kind of it for the figure. Now we should move on to the accessories. So first things first, we have a stand, which is nice. I always like when a figure includes a stand. Silver, you got Star Wars on the front. You get some stamps on the bottom. It's just your simple stand. But the funny thing is it has no way of plugging into the figure. You kind of just, that's it. It's like, you can't really use it. But hey, I'm not complaining. I like stands, so I can just use this for someone else. Plus, the figure doesn't really need it. It kind of stands up fine on its own. It doesn't really knock over easily, so you don't really need it. Can't speak today. You don't really need it, but I'm glad it's here. It also comes with a dice and a card for a game that I still don't know how to play. So you get a dice, bunch of symbols on it that somehow incorporate into the game. And then you get a card, picture on it. You get the destroyer from Attack of the Clones. Then you get a bunch of stats. And on the back, you have the rules of the game if you want to pause and read it. And that's pretty much it for that. Also, you can take the card and slide it into there. Now you got kind of like a little display thing. Kinda. And then finally, we have its two last accessories, and that is some missiles. Yeah, so you get these little. The camera will focus on it. There we go. You get these two red missiles, which nothing really special going on here. They're just red missiles, and they plug into the hole on the arms. You just plug it in and plug it in, and you fire them by just pressing down on them. I think. I don't know. The firing mechanism on this thing is very finicky. Sometimes it doesn't fire at all, and other times, if you breathe on it wrong, it'll fire. So I think we'll just see here. Press down. There. So I still can't figure if you need to press down on the missile or press up. Press down, press up, and it's just that. Yeah, they don't work great, but they're there if you want them. And hey, it's got a projectile attack, so that means we gotta take it to the firing range. So let's get to it. Okay, here we have the firing range, where we take a figure's projectile attack, shoot it at stuff, and see if we can knock it over. First things first, I'm going to shoot it at a Lego minifigure. This is going to be a little difficult, because like I said, the missile doesn't always want to fire when I want it to, so we'll see if it didn't really work. Hang on a second here, it's not wanting to cooperate. With my missile. Alright, we're bringing the target closer. See if that will help out a little bit. There we go. Jeez, finally. Alright, now let's see if we can actually knock over something you might try to shoot it at, like Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah. No. And that concludes today's segment of the firing range, and one of the worst showings of it because these missiles suck. I don't know if it's just age that has made them not very good anymore, or if they just always sucked, but yeah, they're not very fun. But that's just been it for the accessories that it comes with, and it's a little sad that it doesn't come with anything to sort of represent the force field that the droidekas are known for. I mean, that's one of the things that makes them so dangerous, and why even Jedi will have trouble fighting these things. This is what makes them a pain in the butt to fight in Star Wars Battlefront. But there are some, at least one I found that does come with a force field. It's in the 30th anniversary collection line. You know what? I might just get that droideka someday. Might. Anyways, back on with this figure. So it's got a decent amount of accessories, but some of them are just not very fun. But that's pretty much it for the figure. Now on to size comparisons. So to start off the size comparison, as always, here it is with a LEGO minifigure. The Pack of Destruction minifigure Mothra. I bumped the camera. The Pack of Destruction minifigure Godzilla. And the Pack of Destruction minifigure Destroyer. Because they got the same name. At least in the English dub, this thing was called a Destroyer. Now on to some more relevant size comparisons. Here it is with the Episode 1 Jedi Duel Qui-Gon Jinn. With the Star Wars The Clone Wars Battle Droid. The Star Wars Vintage Collection number 78 Battle Droid. And with the previous review, the Star Wars Saga Legends number 28 Super Battle Droid. And let me move the stand for a second. You can see the droideka is a little too tall. In the lore, it's actually supposed to be shorter than the Super Battle Droid, because this is like 6 foot even, I think, and the Super Battle Droid is like over 6 foot. So the figure is a little too tall, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly. Yeah, plus you don't really see the droideka standing next to things too often, so it's close enough. You know what? Hang on. Let's get all the droids in here. That looks pretty cool. So this is my entire droid army collection. Oh wait, no, that's not true. I'm missing one. The Saga Saga Collection Camo Droid. I don't really have that one on hand at the moment. Should I go get it? Yeah, I'll go get it. Hang on. There we go. Now we have my entire Battle Droid collection. Not very many, but I like them. Alright, now that's over. It's measuring time! So over here, let's straighten out all the legs. You can see the figure is a little bit over 4 inches. So, pretty decent sized Destroyer. And overall, that's kind of how I would describe this figure. It's pretty decent. Yeah. Nothing great, but it's fun. Like a hair or something on it. So it's a pretty decent little Destroyer droid. It's fun. I quite like it. Yeah. It definitely is a bit more toy-oriented. So if you are looking for more of like a collector's item droideka, like a more screen accurate and articulated, this one might not be for you. It is more of like, it leans more into like the play factor of it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know, as long as it's fun. And to me, this figure is fun. I had a lot of fun with it as a kid. So if you're just looking for a droid to kind of mess around with, or just to get for your kid, this is definitely a good pick. And if you did want one for yourself, on eBay they're going for around $10 out of the box, which isn't too bad. And brand new they're going for around $20 to $25, which for the aftermarket, you know, isn't too crazy. So yeah, if this figure seems fun to you, you're interested, I definitely recommend picking one up. But that's pretty much it for this review. Hope you all enjoyed. See you later. Sayonara. Bye.